Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Be Nerds. I'm your host, Lizette, and today I am joined by Steven, Gordon, Dylan, and Delaney. How's everybody doing?
Oh,
Fantastic.
doing okay.
Another lovely Sunday or Saturday. I don't really know what day it is.
Glad to be here.
I think it's closer to Monday than anything
Tell
else,
me
but
that.
okay.
It makes me sad.
Last 30 minutes of the weekend, folks.
Yep. All right. So today we are branching off into a little bit different topic than what we've talked about before. Just to kind of further that idea that you can be a nerd about anything. We are talking about music today. So this is going to be the start of another one of our multi-part series. The original goal was for this to go on to be 3 parts. Not sure if it's going to go a little bit longer or if we'll have a continuation of this series in season 2 when we get to that. Because I feel like there's a lot we can talk about with just music in general.
hmm
Um, so I guess I'll offer a little bit of an explanation for how this topic got brought up and got started. A couple weeks ago, I had suggested an idea to the group that we all pick out a song or a band or an album that like really spoke to us for whatever reason, and we could do a little bit of like analysis on the lyrics and discuss, why that song or artist or whatever, what have you, why they mean so much to us. I think we're gonna save the analysis for next episode, right, guys?
I think so.
There
Yeah.
might be one that I touch on in this episode. We might save it for the other. It depends on
Yeah.
the flow of the show.
Yeah, we'll see.
So many choices on my Spotify Wrapped. It's going to take me a while to pick one.
Yeah. So I mean, we can also touch on our Spotify Wraps and kind of discuss what we've been listening to this year too. So I guess, does anybody in particular want to start, or am I starting?
Well, could I ask a group question?
Yeah.
What age were you? And if you remember the song or the band or the moment, what age were you when you realized the importance of music? And I guess it's kind of a broad question, but like in my worldview, as they would say, I realized that music was going to be like a very important factor in my life. And like the first time that I guess you could say I felt an emotion regarding a song, um, as crazy as this is, Maroon 5 back in the day, before like The Voice, before everything, when they released their first album, they had the album was called Songs About Jane, and they had a track on there, Sunday Morning. And for whatever reason, it's like one of those songs that sticks out to me where it was like pure serotonin when I heard it. And I just memorized every single word and I bought the album because of that song. And it just really spoke to me. And it's kind of really a simple song. Like it's not really like any hidden like depth to the lyrics or anything, profound. But just that feeling of like calm and peace and joy. It was everything I didn't know I needed. So I guess my question is, what was the first thing that you're like, holy crap, I love music?
So Delaney brought up a good point, and I kind of agree with this. It was either when I got my first iPod Nano when I was like 7, or just before that, it was when we got these old Walkmans. Delaney had, what was it?
It's a pink one with My Little Pony stickers on it, okay?
And I just had like a bush gray one, and just it's not even a specific song or anything like that. It was sitting down at the home desktop we had at the time with our father, and him going, okay, here's all the songs I have between me and your mother and your grandmother. Let's go through it and pick out what you want. And it was just the experience of kind of sharing music and having music shared with me that I realize has carried over in my music taste of I listen to just about anything.
I love that.
That's actually a really good point and kind of bleeds into what I was going to say. I also don't really have a specific memory, but I remember being about 7 or 8 and being given my first like CD Walkman, and before that I had one that played cassette tapes because I'm that old apparently.
I told you that earlier.
I have a collection of cassette tapes that your husband's father gave me.
Yeah.
I had a few cassettes myself.
So
I have
I
zero.
I remember
Fucking
when
old.
I remember when I got my first like actual personal CD player, and like I listened to it in the car all the time. I didn't have any CDs that I had chosen. I had all my parents' CDs from like the late 80s, early 90s, and that definitely influenced my music taste growing up. But then we also listened to a lot of music with our grandmother. I also remember like when I got my first iPod, I came over to you guys' house, Dylan Delaney. I sat down with your dad and he let me go through all the music he had, and I remember doing that with him a couple days. Um and then I remember going more into high school, my best friend would acquire music offline through questionable means. And
Piracy.
So you mean like that song about frogs?
which one? Oh.
I don't remember if it was French or what it was, but you know what I'm talking about, and so does Delaney.
So, my friend found a lot of very weird stuff because she also had interesting tastes. So, I have some very weird songs hidden in my library, if you know where to look, that are just not appropriate, just odd.
hmm
Um, and she would just make me CDs and give them to me at school and be like, "You gotta listen to these." Um, so yeah, I don't have a specific song for that. I just have a lot of really good kind of broad memories of, like Dylan said, sharing and having music shared with me.
What's the experiences?
Gordon,
Gordon,
what
what?
about you?
um, I similar stories to the other three. Earliest I can remember really getting into any kind of music, probably around 6 or 7. I didn't get no fancy Apple products or anything like that. I just got a simple MP3 player, and of course, by at heart, everyone in my family is a pirate, and somehow I got my entire MP3 player full of songs that totally legit and legal. We paid for every single one of them. No one needs to worry about that. But there's not really anything, no in particular song or memory that sparks up when I think about music, at least that early or
Okay.
current times. Hmm.
I found I thinking about it more now that it's been brought up, how most of us 6 or 7, maybe even as young as 5, just have experiences about music. It's not until you get older, probably I want to say around 10, 11, that you start putting memories to songs and stuff like that, or people to songs, or just feelings to songs more so than just listening to it.
I don't know, because mine would probably be around the time I could start talking, is when I could start screaming songs in the car with mom. So I have a very distinct memory of me sitting in the back of the car in my car seat screaming, like not even singing, but screaming the lyrics to Delta Dawn by Tanya Tucker, and my mom laughing at me because it's one of her favorite songs. And that was like
Well,
probably about the time I could start talking. I had that song memorized.
Didn't
I
we just
remember. Oh,
before we got home?
We
When
did.
we got back from Ohio, about 5 minutes from the house, I'm like, Delta Dawn.
Yep.
I remember when we went and saw her in Nashville. I remember your mom telling me that story about how you'd be in the back seat, and the two of you would just be screaming the lyrics to it, and she was so proud that you knew the words.
I can't sing to save my life, but I can scream a song.
Oh,
Wait, back up. You guys saw Tanya Tucker live?
Yes, one of
Yep.
the greatest concert experiences of my life, and I've been to well over 100 concerts in my 19 years of living.
She's the quintessential what you see is what you get, and she can back up her albums by doing good live shows. That is crazy.
Yeah,
Yep.
we were like we were really close to the stage too, I think.
oh,
We
we're about five
no,
or six rows back.
yeah, we had decent seats, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't say we were like super close, but we had a good spot.
That's awesome. I'm seeing like a consistent theme here that it's like the parents definitely pass on the music in our little group here. My first memory with music, I guess I could say, and I really didn't how do I say, I didn't resonate with the song particularly, but was that you probably remember the road down to my pap's house, like how it was a dead end and like you
Yep.
went around the curve.
Hmm.
Um, well, at the top of that hill, we go through a stop sign. Well, at that stop sign, my mom would pull me over from the passenger seat and allow me to steer the car while she managed the brakes and the pedals because I was a short little boy. Um, Down to my pap's house and like park the car and like I thought I was the king of the road.
Hmm.
But like there's this one song and it's definitely like I think it was probably my mom's jam back in the day, but it was this song called "You Gotta Be" by an artist named Desiree, and I don't think she ever did another song in her life. I think it was just a one-hit wonder situation. And like for whatever reason, anytime that like it was time to steer the car, that song was on, and it's become like a joke between my mom and I that like that was like our song because the coincidence of it just always playing at that particular time was just ridiculous.
That's cool. Yeah, I definitely think let me think the one artist that I remember listening to a lot when I was little, and it's because my parents had like multiple CDs of hers, was Gloria Stefan.
Okay.
So that was especially, well, actually, before I'd even gotten like my CD player, when I still just had my Walkman that actually needed cassette tapes, I remember sitting down at one point and my grandparents on my dad's side had one of those big stereos that you could use to like make cassette tapes from a CD.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember sitting there for like an hour with my dad because I wanted a cassette tape of the Gloria Estefan songs, and we didn't have one. My parents didn't want to buy one. So they bought a blank cassette tape, and he had to sit there with me and record the stuff off the CDs onto the cassette tape for me.
Oh my, that's
And then,
the kids today will never understand the struggle of making cassettes or making CDs.
Oh,
mhm.
do you two want to talk about when you guys had to make ringtones by recording music?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that.
God, you're also old.
Elderly, it's fine.
I
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, because I went through and I had custom ringtones for everybody that would call or text me frequently.
Two people.
Not even.
Oh, shut up. Actually had quite a few different ringtones on. I may not have gotten to hear them that often. Are you back, Steven?
Yep, sorry.
You're fine. But yeah, I know. Actually, I know for you, Steven, I had your ringtone for if you ever called me was Drops of Jupiter.
Our theme
And
song.
yes, and your text tone, because I had it set separately, was Hey Soul Sister.
Now that's really cool. See, I never got into like setting the separate text tone, but like I did have a few ringtones, and it was God. I can't believe I totally forgot about that.
It's okay. It's why the younger crowd is here to remind you. I just saw a meme about it the other day.
Pepperidge Farm remembers. Sorry. Um, what's the meme about?
It was literally just someone recreating that moment, and it was just done in an exaggerated and funny way. And I just thought of you two instantly when I saw it.
Thank you.
So I felt like it was a good thing to bring up here with, the elderly folk, and then we got the two young ones, and then me stuck in the middle with you.
Stuck in the middle. Sorry, copyright. Can't say that.
Yeah.
My bad.
Trust me, you're off tune enough that they won't press any charges.
I was pulling Gordon into it. I knew he'd sing along to something.
Well, just push our wheelchairs around at VidCon. It's fine.
Downhill.
Oh no, you're going straight to a home.
It has to have a big hill though. Just push them right down.
Drew can take care of both of you. Never mind.
That poor man. I don't think he. I don't. That's a lot to ask.
He made his choices.
That is true.
I don't think he knew about me. Aging fast and having me part of that deal.
No, I warned him of this family.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think he knew we were a package deal. I remember when we were dating, he's like, yeah, I know how you and Steven are. He's like, it's fine. I was just like,
Good man,
okay.
that Drew. Good man.
Speaking of Drew, his dad, Dale, is actually one of the people that got me into heavy rock and metal music more than anyone. Because when we were younger, hanging out with him and stuff like that, we'd go into the grocery store or we'd head over to the old farm they had and stuff like that. The only thing he would play would be Metallica, Iron Maiden, AC/DC, Black Sabbath, and Aerosmith. That is it. Even now, he has certain songs favorited on his Sirius radio that when they come on, it automatically gets put on.
Wow.
It always cracks me up riding with him because the radio's constantly dinging and he's just looking like, okay, what song just came on? What can we listen to now?
Yelling at him, turn it down.
And then we have Irene, who I don't know what she listens to.
She listens to country.
Now, but when we were younger, it was silence.
Silence, yeah.
She listened to silence. Not even the sound of silence, no, silence.
Or she'd play our movies for us.
Or movies.
Aww.
And it was the weirdest, one of the weirdest things that I knew about them was Irene, not music, Dale, music.
Some people just need time to collect their thoughts.
You know what? It was the same with our grandparents. Was that Delaney?
Yeah. My mom always had like fun 50s and 60s music playing. Like we knew every word to every song that came on.
Yeah.
And then there was Pup Up, who was either silence or it was really, really old country that only like me and Dylan knew the words
it wasn't
to.
even old country, it was yodel country.
Yeah.
It was early day opera music.
Why do you think we learned how to yodel?
So that
Dude,
was
I can
partly...
yodel.
No.
No, it's been a while.
No one can actually yodel. That's the joke, Gordon.
Oh, I was like, wow.
Like, I want a demonstration right
I really
now.
was like, are we doing this live?
Play the harmonica?
And we all used to play the harmonica.
No.
Oh,
He
yeah.
played the harmonica.
He
We
did
just
play.
breathed into the harmonica.
He did play the
Yeah.
harmonica.
Yeah. So part of him either listening to silence or not having much variety was my fault because he did frequently ask me to make him CDs, but he always asked me on days when I was annoyed with him, so I wouldn't make them. And now I feel really bad.
You know, he bought me my first guitar,
Yeah, he bought me my first guitar too.
my pink one that has stickers all over.
You know who he didn't buy a guitar for?
The one who plays the guitar the most.
Exactly. The one who has
How
4
many?
guitars.
You know
I was gonna...
who his phone lock screen was with her guitar? Me.
Because you were the youngest girl and I was the oldest girl.
You weren't even his phone screensaver though. Courtney was.
Well, he had to act like I wasn't the favorite in some ways.
Try
You
again
gotta
because
remember,
I
too,
was the favorite. We all
Delaney
know
was
it.
the baby of
Well,
the
yes.
baby.
No, I'm not saying I was like the favorite, but I am saying like when okay, if you look at our files that he kept of us,
He kept
mine-
files on you?
So like all the gifts that we gave him, like the cards that we made,
Drawings.
he put in a filing cabinet so that way he had them.
but it was like an actual file with our name on it. Like it sounds really weird, and it
Sounds
was.
very robotic, but I know your grandfather, and to know him is to love him. So I'm not throwing shade.
Oh no,
That's just very funny.
No shade
Yeah.
because it's funny.
Yeah. Like we all joked about it because like whose file is empty? There was somebody who only had one piece of paper in it. Was it Heather?
It was either Heather or Jake.
It might have been me too. He didn't have a lot for me. All he
He
had.
had your art projects
So
from
he had
school.
some of my art projects that I gave him, and then he had a bunch of pictures of when I would help him with stuff around the house.
Mine was full of newspaper clippings that I was in.
Yeah, your murder scenes.
Mine was all of like the family newspapers that I wrote, a couple stories I wrote.
Can we go back to writing family newspapers?
Honestly, we probably should.
Yes.
But now that we're
Can
completely
we
off topic.
can we talk poorly about family members we don't like? Sorry. Anyway.
Oh yeah, I had a gossip column in it.
Steven's
Okay.
shade column.
we have to
Shady
get back
Steven!
on topic.
That's his handle, Shady Steven.
We have to get back on topic.
Well, it's just like music; it can go anywhere.
That's yeah.
That
It
was a
really can.
beautiful segue back into
Yeah.
it.
King
Of
of
course.
transitions.
Oh,
It's called
Okay.
The Bass Has Dropped.
So I have a question.
yes.
What is everybody's favorite genre of music?
Don't ask me that.
That's so hard.
So tough.
Like right away.
You
Can
can't
we give like a top 3?
Okay, I will accept the top 3.
Okay. Gordon, can you go first on this one? Because I feel like you have I think you like everything, but I feel like you have a little bit more of a defined regimen.
Not really. I listen to about everything equally except for like extremely hard rock and the newer country. But I listen to everything equally. I don't really have a preference or a favorite. It all depends really on my mood and how the day's been going or what situation I'm in because I prefer classic rock at work whenever I'm there dealing with people or if I'm by myself. I'd rather listen to pop music or stuff more geared to myself that not a lot of people like because it's weirder music.
I do have to give Gordon credit. For those of you listening that don't know or haven't already picked up, not only do Gordon and I do this podcast together, but we work full time together at a restaurant. I'm not very good with curating a playlist or all that. I just Spotify sends me something and half of the time it's good, half the time it's bad. I have to say, Gordon is really good. I can be very low descriptive. I'm like, well, I want something this way, and I want to, I want this, and I want and I'm not lying. The kid can deliver a playlist that helps us get through the dinner rush and actually pick up the mood or whatever the case might be because of my bipolar disorder, and it works. But
I have a playlist for any mood that you're in. I can probably come up with a playlist or a song to start you off with.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had that because when me and Lizette just drive around, we usually just play my liked songs, and she'll be like, "Oh, Delaney, send me that. Oh, Delaney, send me that."
See, I'm on I mean, I hate to admit this because so many people look down on it. I use YouTube Premium over Spotify because of how many playlists I've made on YouTube instead of Spotify. So I just kind of hated ads, so I just kind of caved in and pay way too much a month to get ad-free music and videos.
Drew and I were discussing that yesterday because we paid for YouTube Premium for a couple months and then we got rid of it because it was a little expensive, and now I feel like YouTube is giving us more ads to punish us.
Exactly.
They want to bring
I'll
you
split a
back.
family plan with you guys.
Honestly, if you want to, that would be cheaper than what we were looking at. So I'm down for it.
We'll discuss after the show.
Okay, sounds
I'm on a
adopting Gordon from Steven? Question mark. Find out next time on the Daily News.
It just the next episode is just me in loungewear smoking a cigarette. You can have them.
Custody battle. I don't have the effort in me.
Oh,
my
thanks.
Just
So
kidding, buddy.
loved.
I did
people
start
want
this
you.
off. I did start this off giving you a compliment. So just for the record.
Back to Delaney's question.
Yes, let's regroup once again.
I guess I'll go next. So it's really hard. Delaney, you know this already. It's really hard for me to pick
Oh,
a
yeah.
genre because I'm stuck, I want to say between three. So I listen to a lot of like pop, pop rock type music. I like a lot of punk and alternative rock, and I do like listening to country. So I feel like those are my top three, but then you got to mix in like the Latin, like Spanish songs, because I listen to a lot of those. I don't know. It's hard.
Oh, could we count Disney as a genre? Question mark.
Well,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Disney is a
I
genre. That is my karaoke. Like, I can do that.
I'm 100% on board with like their music collective being its own genre. Yes.
we just need a simple song about a man swinging through the jungle. Fire erupts from his fingertips.
As he
I
rises
that
up that bow.
the fact that they when they did Hercules and they've got a Broadway star Susan Egan to do Megara and she
Yeah.
belted out "I Won't Say I'm in Love," which is the most underrated Disney princess song. And I said what I said. She's a princess. I'm here for it.
Okay,
If I
Dylan, what's
had
your favorite
I
genres?
mean, technically, now that Disney has um obtained so many different corporations, who isn't a Disney princess at this point?
yeah, yeah.
I
You're
mean,
not
Well,
the bar
wrong.
is so low to be a
but
Disney
they're
princess.
but
Well,
they only license the merch to certain characters though. Like it's weird. It's a whole thing, and like there was claims of discrimination and all this stuff. Like it's a weird topic. Honestly, we could probably do a deep dive on that because it's a whole
Yes.
topic.
That
me and
actually sounds
Delaney
good.
agree Chris Evan is not a princess. He's just the ass of America.
Wait, wait.
Yes, he is.
I
Yes.
missed who?
That's
Who?
America's
Chris
ass.
Evans.
Chris
Oh,
Evans.
America's ass.
Oh my. All right. So, Dylan, did you pick a genre yet?
No, but I do have to say there is one genre I will always fall back on in just about any situation, especially with this group of the family, which would be Celtic folk songs, Irish folk songs, sea shanties, and any kind of music where it's just a bunch of rowdy drunk people singing together and having a hell of a time.
Yes.
That's accurate.
Actually, right before I got out of my car from coming home today, the Irish Rovers came on, and I was like, you know what? I think it's time to put that album on repeat for a while.
That's a good band.
I
Looking at
love
my
the Rovers.
Spotify, Wellerman, which is a sea shanty. Row Me Bully Boys Row, which is a sea shanty I first heard in the Russell Crowe Robin Hood.
Oh yeah.
It's a good
Fantastic
song.
song. I can just sing that all day long. And Old Maui, which is another sea shanty, or my 2 through 4 top songs.
That third
Yeah.
one's a good one right there.
Yes, it is.
I can agree with that
Oh, yeah.
choice.
So we all have a love for the Irish Rovers. That's pretty. I didn't. That's really cool. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Steven, you're actually one of the ones who introduced me to them. One of the first trips up when I visited you, I remember sitting in the basement and you were
Was
playing the unicorn and the bog in the valley and all of
oh
those, and
god.
I
Fog
remember
in the Valley is a
That's a
classic.
good one too.
but I remember
Without
coming
without
without
saying oh god, without
yeah,
saying names, was that when I
there were
was
yeah,
yeah, oh
I
yeah.
apologize for having to remind you of that.
No, but it's the truth that was like amazing, like fun times. But go
Yes.
ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But
The
no,
Fog
just
in the Valley, Lizette. Do you remember us that night? Like, it was like one of the first nights in your apartment. All the cousins slept over, and then me and you were awake. Or there was some. I don't
yes,
remember what
yeah,
we were
yeah.
doing.
Yeah, it was like the first night because we were trying to put furniture together and then we realized we didn't have any tools.
Yeah, so it was me and you fiddling with one of my pocket knives, listening to Irish drinking songs, while
Yeah.
everyone else was trying to
Gabby
sleep.
were passed out.
The lady was asleep in a box. Gabby, I think, was the only one that had like the Gabby had
The
like
bed.
the bed.
Yeah, she had the bed because she had to work the next day,
Our
so
dinner was
she
peanut butter that night.
yes.
And I think did we have a drink?
I think we did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I do
It's a
remember
sh-
all the different types of music that we listened to that night, though, because we were like, put this on next,
Yeah.
put that on next.
I know a big thing that helped me stick with the shanties and stuff like that and Irish music is two of my I would consider them my best friends at this point are pretty much first and third generation Irish American.
Oh
Tyler
yeah.
and Rory
Yeah.
O'Reilly and Tyler Gaynor. Tyler's as Irish as can be, having been born in New Jersey and living in Smyrna most of his life. His dad is a hell of a man, painted like a stained glass window,
I love
and
his
probably one of the
dad.
funniest people I've ever met.
Both of his parents are really cool.
Oh, I love his mom. His mom can bake too.
They come into work and they're hilarious.
Sounds like we might need them on the St. Patrick's Day episode. Just saying.
I mean, I think we could definitely get Tyler and possibly Rory.
Tyler, yes. Rory, I don't know. Rory does listen, so hi, Rory, if you decide to listen to this
No,
episode.
that's what I was gonna say. Rory,
Shout out.
our,
Shout out to our boy.
our wonderful dungeon master, please come on the show.
We
Talking
are
about
going to need him for an episode in the future, possibly. Little
Hey,
sneak peek, maybe.
maybe we never know.
All right. Well, on that note of us trying to beg friends to come on, I think it is time for an ad read, and then when we come back, we'll continue this discussion. So we'll be right back.
Let me find a song.
Hey there, guys and gals. I hope you are enjoying this episode of the Speak Easily podcast. I know I had a lot of fun recording it. Speaking of, have you ever thought about making your own podcast? It's always been something I wanted to do, but I kept putting it off because I could never find the right platform to host it. That is, until I discovered Anchor. Anchor is an all-in-one recording, editing, and hosting app that makes the process simple. And the best part is it's totally free. And I mean genuinely free. And if you're someone like me who has a love-hate relationship with editing audio, let me tell you this, I was blown away by how user-friendly the in-app editing tool actually is. My favorite part, I must admit, is the distribution. Normally with new podcasts, you have to submit your show to various platforms individually, which can be time-consuming and very frustrating. But with Anchor, they do the legwork for you. They'll submit it to Spotify, Apple, Castbox, Google, and several others with just the click of a button. Plus, unlike other platforms, there is no minimum requirement for listeners, so you can monetize your podcast and start earning right away. So, download the free Anchor app available in the App Store or on the Google Play Store, or do what I did and head over to anchor.fm to get started today. Thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring this podcast. I guess this means the next round's on you. I'll drink to that.
We are back. So now that we've tried to hopefully coerce some more people into joining us next season, has anybody not answered Delaney's question? I kind of lost track of who did and
Me.
did. Okay, your turn.
Okay. So I've been trying my hardest to narrow it down. It would be 50s to 60s, and these are not in particular order. These are just top three in life. 50s to 60s, Rat Pack, Etta James era. That to me was when the music revolution in America started. That I said what I said. I think that they are quintessential in their original songs as well as their Christmas music. That's where I go back to. Oddly enough, you Dylan, Delaney, and Lizette, your grandma, and was technically brothers with my grandfather, but my grandma was kind of more best friends with Aunt Leah, your grandma. And I know from my mom talking that one of the things that they really got on about was music. They had a lot of the same taste, and they had a lot of the same records, and they had a lot of the same, I don't know, inspiration. And so it's kind of cool that she was a big part of your music life, because every time I went up to my grandma's, it was records from that era playing in the background. So it kind of created a lifelong love affair with that generation of music. Next up would be 90s to early 2000s country. I really can't do the today, Luke Bryant sounds like Gomer Pyle. I can't handle it. It's
Take that back.
No, I said what I said.
Old Luke Bryan is the best.
Luke Bryan sounds like he has marbles in his mouth and a speech impediment, and I can't deal with it.
Some people
No
like
shade
to have
to people with
marbles in
speech
their mouth.
impediments, but like maybe music isn't your career. Sorry.
There
Sorry,
goes
Delaney.
I have no comment.
I hope this doesn't come between us. But
It just might.
I was gonna say
Exactly.
I've been on the receiving end of her wrath when somebody did like Luke Bryant before.
I mean, he is garbage. So.
I'm telling you though, he puts on one of the best concerts I have ever been to.
Well, I mean, when you're comparing it to other garbage, it's not hard to distinguish what's better and what's not.
did he actually sing, or did he get up? I'm sorry. Did he actually get up and mumble, or was he like mumbling to a track?
You're so funny. I have videos of me screaming lyrics at that concert.
You
I'll have to
probably
find-
sounded better than him.
I might have. At that point, I don't think I had a voice left over from screaming because that concert was so much fun.
Best
If you-
2 days of my life afterwards.
If you lost your voice during the concert and were singing, you definitely sounded better than him.
Well, I mean, I wasn't singing; it was screaming. As I stated before, I cannot sing.
And then I guess nostalgia wise, I would go with like the pop punk, emo, whatever the hell you want to classify that genre. Again, like 2009 through 2012, whatever that era is, like Dashboard Confessional.
Mhm.
I'm blanking, like
Um,
Hawthorne Heights,
God.
songs like that. Like it's probably because it like was so. I was an emotional child and I had trauma. I don't know. It was.
we
It's
were
not a
we were
phase, Mom.
It's not.
we
It's
were-
literally not a phase.
we were in high school and that was the thing at that point because I remember you giving me that flash drive with a bunch of music when you came down to visit and you had like there were songs from Boys Like Girls, I think.
Oh, they're so classic.
Who else? Because you gave me some that I hadn't heard before. Oh shoot, All Time Low. You introduced me to them.
Oh.
I love them now.
They are so good. I totally haven't thought about them in so long. So
Yeah.
good.
My Chemical Romance.
Oh, we listen to them at work. I love it.
Oh yeah, they're like on every one of my playlists.
It's like my Spotify just knows. It's like at some point you're gonna have an emotional dip and you need this.
There is
So,
no country played at work because we only listen to good music.
Well, since
Oh.
we're oh my goodness,
Wow.
we're not
We're
starting
not
fights.
engaging. We're not
Everybody-
engaging.
Everybody is so
Gordon finally talks and all he does is throw shade. I love it. Keep it up, Gordo.
everybody is so salty tonight, and I don't know what's going on. But anyway,
Salty. I'm
just
seasoned.
Living in
For
the
our-
ocean.
for our listeners, there's been a lot of shade and a lot of minor jabs going on behind the scenes as well today. All with love.
We're an anti-bullying podcast. We just
Yes.
bully each other. Don't
All
bully
with-
other people though.
Oh,
Yes.
friendship.
Family.
All
With,
with love.
with how country's going and how modern cars are, it's only a matter of time before a country artist is singing about his truck leaving him.
I think
Okay,
someone already
that
did.
you literally pilfered that off of some meme or somebody. That is
Oh,
not your
yes.
original comedy.
I
Oh
know that's
my
not my
gosh.
original thing, but it's fucking hilarious.
Okay.
Don't worry, the dog will be driving the truck while the girl is running behind it.
I'm here for it.
Listen,
I-
did we? Because I do want to now that he did that. Lizette, I'm sorry. I'm totally hijacking your moderation, but I
You're
do want to
fine.
talk about like country music and like I feel like that'd be an interesting one. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna steer us back to the pop punk and emo and all of that for a second because I wanted to say before we got off on Gordon's country rant. So I actually took Dylan and Delaney to a Fall Out Boy concert a couple years ago.
Well, that will
Yeah.
forever be one of my favorite memories.
Yes.
Like from the ride up there to the ride home where I was passed out in the back seat after
And-
having so much
and you-
caffeine in me.
And you left the Panic at the Disco's album on repeat for 3 hours. I couldn't listen to it for a month because I had to listen to it in the car, and I couldn't get my phone back because she fell asleep with it, like, in, like, a vice-like grip in the back seat. We couldn't get the phone away to play something else.
That's what you get for giving me the aux.
You take the aux, I don't give it to you.
Well, that's because you have no taste in music.
Valid.
Sounds like better.
We
Wow.
listen to the same things, child.
Yeah, because I showed them to you.
Okay, so I took you to a Train concert. Do you remember what happened when we went on our way to the Train concert? When I asked you, hey, what year were you born? And it was the year after the song we were going to listen to came out. You
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Still screamed my heart out at that concert too.
Yes, you did. But that was one of those instances where I just looked at her and I'm like, why do I spend so much time with you when you're this much younger?
Because who else would have you had that much fun with at a concert?
Dylan.
You know how many people I body checked because they were getting too close to us in the stands?
Do you know how many people I can probably pick up and throw into somebody to
My
body check?
5
No.
foot always body checking people because me and Lizette were trying to
Because
dance.
you're hitting them below the waist.
I was gonna say, when you're saying body check, do you mean you just really like pushed your chest into their kneecap? Like, what is a body check
All
for you?
4'11"
pretty
of you.
much. Pretty much.
I'm gonna
We
take them
almost-
out at the knees.
We almost
It
got in a
worked.
fight. Do you
Talking
remember
about the Fall Out Boy concert. Lizette,
yeah.
remember that was supposed to be my first concert?
Yeah, but then you went and saw another concert with Drew, and we told you that was your own fault for messing up your first concert. You should have waited.
Quiet. It wasn't that bad, pertaining a few details. Look, the concert you guys kind of sucked too because the opening act was Machine Gun Kelly.
Listen, we don't
Oh,
talk
that's
about that.
garbage.
Yeah, we
And
weren't
I've
there.
met this fan in person, and it didn't get any better.
Do you have
We
his
were-
underwear out? Because like, why is that boy like? Somebody get that boy pants that fit.
No, he took
Wow,
his
I
shirt off.
sound
We had to
old.
look at that.
That's right, he did. I forgot about that.
He was wearing
Yeah.
shiny green metallic pants and was jumping around the stage doing like I don't even know what kind of dance moves.
It
It's
was
not
a-
dancing. It's like
He's basically doing a quick workout.
Yeah, pretty much, and like looking like you could tell he thought he was hot stuff, and we're just sitting there like, this does not go with neither one of their opening acts for that concert matched
Who
Fall
was the
Out
other
Boy.
one?
I don't remember. We were up getting merchandise. We weren't paying
Listen,
attention to
we
them.
didn't-
Yeah.
so they were bad. Like if you weren't, yeah. Like when I saw Fall Out Boy, it was Panic, Fallout, and Blink 182, and like
I'm jealous.
that was one where you wanted
Yeah.
to see everybody. Like that's a lineup. That's how you do a show. Not Machine Gun Kelly and his tidy whities hip thrusting at you like you have to press charges the next day.
Okay,
Yeah,
but the
it
night
was.
that we bought those tickets was like great because we looked up we looked up Fall Out Boy for some reason and we were like,
We were-
hey,
no.
there's a concert in Hershey.
No, so the concert was in September, but back in February, she and I were on like one of our just random wandering road trips where we were just trying to find something to do for the whole day. We were trying to go bowling. We ended up at like 3 different bowling alleys. The first one was closed due to illness, which was questionable. And mind you, this was in what, 2018?
Oh, so
Seven?
pre-pandemic. Okay.
Yeah, pre-pandemic was closed due to illness.
That's
And
what
as
I'm telling you.
Yeah, it was questionable. Then we went to another one that was closed for something else. We finally ended up back like around home. But while we were just riding around, we were listening to a lot of Fall Out Boy and we were talking about the next concert we wanted to go to. And we were like, oh, we should see if like Panic at the Disco or Fall Out Boy or anybody has concerts coming up. And that's why we Googled them and we're like, they have a concert. It's in Hershey in September. We're like, we're buying these tickets. So we bought them that night. We like sent some messages out on Facebook to see if anybody wanted to go with us. Dylan wanted to go, so I bought us the 3 of us tickets. Nobody else wanted to go. We didn't care about the opening acts. I don't think we even looked at who was opening.
Yeah, I don't
When
think so.
when we actually got the tickets and saw who was opening, we were like, who the heck are these people? Because there was another opening act that I had never heard of. Don't even remember who they were.
I probably have videos somewhere, but I don't remember.
I don't think you did because we were not sitting down while they were playing at all. We were getting food, we were getting our t-shirts and our posters.
Which, kind of makes me feel bad because I always like being there for the opening acts because like nobody else ever is. So I like
Yeah.
to be there and like cheer them on. But if I literally have no clue who they are, it's really hard.
Yeah. But let's see.
Can I ask a question
Oh yeah,
again?
yeah.
I'm sorry, Leslie. I keep commandeering. You do an amazing job. I'm just like my head's like spinning.
You're
Can
good.
we all name who we saw in concert for like our first concert?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Who
I
was your
saw Brooks and Dunn with my parents before they split up. I think they're back together now.
I'm
But
jealous.
I have to give a shout out to Kim and Tim because they knew how to do like they're big when they were dating and like before they were dating. Concerts were big for them, but like they knew like because of my age. I think I was like 10 or 12 maybe. They
Mhm.
knew like how to integrate concerts like properly. Like I wasn't on the floor. We had like I wouldn't say nosebleed seats, but like mid-level like seating. Excuse me. And it was like the perfect way to get like a young person introduced to like a concert environment and like
Without
not have
overwhelming.
yeah and overstimulating and having like drugs and fights and whatever like the bad stuff that can happen. And it was like the most the best way to be interested in, or invested into concert going as an adult. And later down the line I bought them tickets as like a thank you for like introducing me to this. We went to see like Lady Antebellum and Darius Rucker. It was like a Christmas gift, but that show was phenomenal. Ah, so anyway,
Like
what
jealous.
what was that?
I said I'm like seriously jealous.
When they played Neon Moon, that whole room erupted. And it's funny because that's like a TikTok trend now or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's like this song was good back then and it's good now. It's timeless. Yeah.
It's a constant on my playlist. Like I get in the car and it goes on and I listen to it probably like 4 times and I could be going like 5 minutes away.
Yep. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
So my first concert that I managed to go to, got a free ticket to it because one of Drew's cousins couldn't make it, so I went with Drew and his group of family. It was actually multiple people. I got to see Alice in Chains, Ghost, Stone Temple Pilots, Dorothy, and Radkey. And Radkey is a side band for the lead singer of Korn, I believe, where they play a lot of electric violins, which was awesome.
Oh wow.
And honestly, my favorite performance was Ghost. I think it was. If anyone knows Ghost, they are constantly switching out the actual band members except for the singer. I think it was the second or third rendition of them. Fantastic showing out of them. Alice in Chains is okay. Stone Temple Pilots, I don't quite remember. And Dorothy's just neat. I love her voice. She's fun to listen to.
Huh.
It was like a it was MMRBQ in Baltimore, I think. It was like a concert event or something like that.
Oh wow.
New Jersey,
That,
sorry.
that's a big lineup. So that makes sense that it was like more of an event style. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, that was a fun experience. And then my actual first concert was with Liza and Delaney at Fall Out Boy, which I actually just found my lanyard I got there and have been using it.
Okay, I forgot you got that.
Yeah, it broke, but I jerry rigged it and fixed it because we were just talking about music and I'm like, where did that go? Found it.
I love that.
All right, Gordon, what was your first concert?
I've never been to one.
Oh
Say that.
We're gonna have to fix that.
yeah.
Every time I try to go to one, I was planning. So earlier, 20. Let me think. I stopped working at the bar and grill. I'd say almost 2 years ago now. When I was still working there, there was a 4-day weekend concert that I was planning on buying tickets for, and then the COVID stuff happened and it got canceled. But
Oh.
it had you name a pop artist and they were there for not like like the people you first think of, but the second hand just as good artists, but they don't have as much recognition yet.
Gotcha.
It's like not like a Katy Perry, but
No. And I
Kind of
say
not the
pop, more alternative pop to older, like I say older, probably like late '90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
Okay.
Like you got, I think Hollywood Undead was on that list.
Oh,
Papa Roach, Disturbed.
oh,
A couple other ones I can't remember the name of, but there was some great names, and I was really excited for it until it got canceled. I even had the time
Buddy.
off of work requested and good to go, and it didn't work out, which really pissed me off because that was gonna be a fun one.
I
And
would have cried.
it,
Yeah.
I was close. The tickets were almost $400 for the seats I was gonna buy.
that's not even that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Delaney, you and I did cry when our concerts got canceled because of COVID.
Twice.
That
The
wasn't
2
even.
times that we tried.
None of my concerts ever got canceled, and I've been to 3.
Well, we're gonna hope that third time is the charm, and I'm gonna try and buy us tickets to him again,
Yes.
hopefully. So, we were going to see. Why is my brain blanking on who it was, Delaney?
It was Sam Hunt.
Thank you. That was gonna be my graduation gift to her in 2020. We were gonna go see him in Hershey.
You know, I graduated 2020.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
So it got canceled because of
Same here.
COVID. So then he was supposed to be at the Delaware State Fair this year in 2021, and I was like, Delaney, it's perfect. I can make up we can make up the fact that
We
our
were fine.
yeah, it got canceled. So we're gonna go see him at the state fair. It's great. Canceled because of COVID. So he's supposed to be at the state fair next year, 2022. So we're gonna try and get tickets and try and see him again.
It's a sign this time.
Yes, third time is the charm. All right, so child, while I have your attention, what was your first concert?
So I was probably about 10 or 11, I think, and we went and saw the band Perry in Richmond, Virginia. Now, I had been begging for concert tickets, like just to go see anybody because I wanted to go to a concert. Concerts are my happy place. And so my mom was like, "No, you're not getting them. You're not getting them. You're not getting them." And I come home from school one day and she goes, "Here, Delaney, this came in the mail for you." And I open it and it's the concert tickets. And I bawled my eyes out. Like I couldn't form a sentence to say thank you, to say, "Oh my God, are you really serious?" It was just crying. And I threw myself at my mom and she's like laughing and she's like, "I should have recorded this because this is hilarious." We were 2 rows behind the pit, I think. And like I said, I was 10 or 11, not much taller than not much shorter than I am now. So I could see pretty well though from where we were at. And I remember like just being so happy that I literally could have cried in the middle of the concert. I listened to all of their CDs for like 2 months before we even got to the concert so that I was prepared to sing every single song that they sang that night.
Wow. They had
That's
such good.
dedication.
They had really good bops though. Like
Mm-hmm.
the If I Die Young. Like
Yep, I love that one.
Good
I'm trying to
song.
think. They had there's so many that I'm like blanking. Um, what's the one where it's like Eli like lie like a rug or something? Ugh,
My
such
favorite, and you just made me blank.
Yes, no, because that's one I like. Because I'm sitting here trying to think, do I know any of their songs? I
You
know I
you
have to
know a
know
lot
them.
of
I
their
have to know a
songs.
lot of them. I just don't know them off the top of my head.
I know. It's like it kind of is one of those bands that.
Yeah, I know. I like that one a lot because I just want to kill them.
And
Yeah, that's Better Dig too.
Oh,
It's
Better
when
Dig 2 is great.
Oh yeah.
Diet too.
yes.
Oh, okay, yes, yeah, I like that one.
I always think of our mother.
Yes, that is our mother to a T.
Yeah. You know who was a fun experience to see in person? It was the last concert I went to right before lockdown. It was the Who, HU. It's a Mongolian throat metal band.
Oh my gosh, their collab with Papa Roach, I believe it was.
Their collab with Papa Roach. Their collab with it's the Song of Wolf with
Yep.
what's her name?
I
Fantastic.
They're a great band. I recommend everyone go and listen to them as soon as we're done recording. And anyone listening to us, as soon as you're done watching this, make sure you finish watching this first or listening, whatever you're doing, and then go listen to them.
They recommend seeing them in concert. I'm pissed because I almost had the chance at free tickets to see them at Firefly, but then I got stuck at work too long and couldn't make it.
Oh, I would have just left.
Yeah,
And
I
that would have
closed
been
the
my second
kitchen.
time seeing them, but I saw them in Philly in like super small venue, like just packed like sardines. I managed to get a spot sitting at a little sidebar watching it from there. Fantastic experience. I think my favorite thing they said was because they didn't speak any English. They said "F you, Philadelphia. Thanks for having us," but with like the thickest accent ever, and it was awesome.
That
Mind
is
you, you have to
amazing.
imagine three tall, white bearded men standing in a corner while surrounded by the only people, like every single Mongolian person that would actually listen to them, just there. Just, just we were the only tall people there. It was weird. Felt like I
It's
was
like
surrounded by a bunch of Delaney's.
All 4 foot nothing.
Pretty much, it was like just Delaney, just everywhere.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
One lady tried to push past my friend, and he just looked at her. It was Rory, by the way,
Oh,
Lizette.
yeah.
He just turned and looked at her, and she just kind of went, "Never mind," and went the other way.
that had to be cool because it's like not just a musical experience; it's kind of like a cultural experience too. Like that. That's
It was awesome.
They
Probably one of
have
my favorites. I don't remember much at the end of the night because, like I said, I was sitting at the bar.
they have
whoops.
great music.
Yes,
I
Yeah.
love their music.
Yeah, their stuff is really good.
That's the stuff I don't put on when I'm at work because I don't think anyone else is gonna like it.
do it. Convert
Well,
them.
now you have to, so I can hear it.
What Tuesday.
Tuesday. When you come in, play me some.
If I have to go to work tomorrow, I might cry.
No, you're off
I have
tomorrow.
to work too, Gordon. We'll make it through it together.
I don't.
I
I do
don't
all
have to, but if I end up having to some reason going to work, I might just cry.
Why would you have to?
You never know.
Okay, you're just being
Okay, back
okay.
on
Yeah.
back on topic. Um, so the first concert I ever went to, I was 19 at the time, I think, and it was actually a train concert. They came to the Delaware State Fair in 2014, and oh, never mind. So I was 20. Um,
Oh,
but yeah, they came to the Delaware State Fair. That was the first concert that I had ever been to. My mom bought tickets for me, my sister, both my parents, and I took one of my friends. Um, and I've been to see Train 3 times now. So I saw them, like I said, 2014 at the Delaware State Fair, 2015 I went up and saw them at Hershey. I was supposed to be going with two different friends and taking my sister. My sister got sick the day of and wasn't able to go. And then in 2017, I think is when I took Delaney.
Yeah, I think I just scrolled through those photos. Yeah, 2017.
Wow.
So yeah, so that was my first one. It's really interesting to me having seen them 3 times, like um kind of close together, but getting to see the way that the band itself has evolved. So I remember at the state fair, because like I don't think I'll go to see them again for a while, because I still love them, I still love their music, but I did not enjoy their last show that I went to as much as I had the first two,
Mm.
because of the attitudes. They
Oh.
were they were very different. So when I saw them at State Fair and at Hershey the first time, um, they were interacting with the crowd a lot, like having conversations in between songs, really like saying, we got disconnected from our fans for a little while, but now we're working on being better about that, because like, very very humble, very like just interactive, and it was really cool. So
Yeah.
that kind of set my expectations for concerts that I go to.
Hmm.
The time when I took Delaney, and Delaney, you kind of we talked about this on the way home, I think. Do you remember how like it was just kind of like bam bam bam, song after song,
It
not
was like
really.
rushed.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was very rushed, and They came off more cocky. I found out afterwards because I actually have two signed concert posters. I paid for them signed. I didn't get to meet them. But when I got home and was comparing the second one to the one that I had had from 2 years before, like something on here doesn't look right.
Mhm.
And I realized the lead guitar player was not with the band anymore. So
Oh.
I Googled it because I believe his first name was Jimmy. I think it's Jimmy Stafford. I could be wrong.
Mhm.
But he and Pat Monahan were if I'm remembering correctly, the only original members of the band Train who were still there. And I guess they'd had some kind of disagreement. And the lead guitar player was only with the band on like a part-time thing. Like he only played a few shows with them that year.
Mm.
And just the whole thing just felt different. And I was like, I'm not really a fan of this.
Oh, wow.
So really kind of changed my wanting to go and see them like every chance I got. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go see some other people now.
Yeah. It kind of broke the cycle, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I do want to mention another group that I've gone to see that I do want to see a second time because the venue I went to see them at the first time was not great. The Goo Goo Dolls
Mm.
were phenomenal. I so I'm upset. The venue that I went to was in Philly. Um, it almost sounds like it was kind of maybe a little bit larger than what you were describing, Dylan, because it was a fairly decent sized building, but it was general admission. I didn't understand quite what that meant when I bought the tickets. Yeah,
Yeah.
I made bad mistake. Big mistake.
You want to know why
Um,
you made that mistake?
Because you didn't
because
have
I
the lady.
Because I
Exactly.
didn't, yes, because I didn't take Delaney because I took somebody who is also introverted who did not enjoy having a crowd surrounding us.
Ah.
Um, it did not, like, we ended up leaving before it was over because he was not having, it was bad. Um, Again, nothing to do with the band, everything to do with the particular crowd around us because it was a lot of just drunk people who were kind of nasty.
Yeah.
These two women kind of butted their way in front of us and we were like, excuse us. Like my friend was like, we were standing here, now you're in front of us. And they're like, oh, well, you're taller than us, so it should be fine. And like they were wearing heels. I'm not that tall. And honestly, he's not that tall either. They were
Yeah.
not, like, we were not taller than them.
Yeah.
But anyway, as far as like the show itself went, so it was the 25th anniversary of their Dizzy Up the Girl album. So the whole first half of the show, they played that album from start to finish, the order that it was released on the record. And it was really, really cool. The second half of the show, then they just kind of did a like selection of their greatest hits kind of.
Hmm.
And something I have to dig up the videos from it that I thought was really neat in the second half of the show because they didn't take that much of a break in between to give the rest of the band members a break. The lead singer came up and he's like, hey guys, we're going to try something a little different. And they had done a recording of him like before they started doing this tour. And he actually played songs with the recording of himself, but it was scripted. So he was talking to the other version of himself on a screen. And the screen was one of those ones that's like it's clear, so it was like the holograph.
Hmm.
Um, do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like the version of him on screen was playing guitar and then he was also playing guitar live but was playing different parts of the song and was able to sing two parts of the song because one was pre-recorded and just the whole way that was done was really really cool to me.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
if whenever they go on tour again, I definitely want to try and get tickets because they sounded just like they're recording, but it was actually them singing, like they weren't faking it.
Hmm.
I love when it matches the right energy. Like when what they did on the album in the studio, you see it live. That's
Yeah.
immaculate.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, can I tell a quick story? It's a little bit of
Yeah.
like I don't know if it's like what you'd consider it, but is everybody familiar with All American Rejects?
Yes.
Who is it?
Um, so I saw them at Warped Tour, and Bob and Carmen are going to be on the music series at some point. So I want to pick their brains when they're on, if they remember it the way I do. Because you know how sometimes when things are, it's been years at this point. So like sometimes people remember things a certain way. But I saw them, and I don't know why this just popped in my head. I kind of forgot about it, but like Tyson, what's his last name? I believe Tyson Ritter, the lead singer, and I believe he plays bass. He was so, I'm going to say drunk or high. He was in an all white suit. He had stains all over the suit. It looked like it was like beer and wine and whatever. He forgot the words to give them hell or gives you hell. He forgot it. He just literally just stopped singing in the middle of the set. He was making a hand gesture to girls that were at the front of the stage um, to imply an oral sex. And he was a nightmare. And like he at one point, like I guess like the girls that were in the front weren't maybe receptive of him and his drunken stupor. And like he just got pissed off and like was just a complete nightmare. And it was such a letdown because like I don't think Bob and Carmen were really that privy because they took me to Warped Tour every year and they always let me pick like my whatever that I wanted or needed to see. And like that was like such a letdown because it's like, sir, this is your job and you are clearly visibly intoxicated and you are making inappropriate gestures at probably girls that are underage because it's Warped Tour. Like, what are you doing? Anyway, sorry. I popped in my head. I had to say it. Like some concerts are literally amazing, and some are like, yeah, I'll never spend money to see you again.
Feel like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been fortunate. I've not had any bad concert like I wouldn't say I've had any bad concert experiences yet.
That is good. And I'll also tell you is if you ever are at one now with TikTok, take out your phone and record it because you'll go viral.
Well,
I wish I would have done it back then.
Steven, I think someone did.
Oh,
Because that sounds really familiar. Either it's that video I'm thinking of, or I'm thinking about one of the Metallica songs. What's his name? Forgot the lyrics to it in the middle of the show. That
he
also happened to him.
he literally just like spoke into the microphone. It's like, ah, you guys know it. I was like, if I did that at my job, no, thank you. Like I'd have no job tomorrow.
You guys can cook it, you know it.
Yeah, you know, you ordered a Reuben, just come back and make it. Like you know what goes on it. Like what are you doing?
Read the menu, it's fine.
Should do that on
Do we have time to get into the country music debate, or do we have to save that for part two?
I think we need to save that for part two.
Yeah, I would
We'll
say
kick
that.
off part two with why country music is now garbage.
And Delaney can defend her boy Luke Bryan or Bryant or
Will
whatever.
It'll
forever
be a fruitless
defend
endeavor.
Brian.
It'll be a fruitless endeavor, but you know, she can still do it.
Don't care. I will die fighting.
Do I have to make a hill for Delaney too?
You might have to.
was
I
gonna
need a
say
whole mountain.
she
Yeah, I was
might
gonna
drive
say
up
to get her to the same height, you're gonna need a mountain.
she might drive up there just to stab you guys. I mean, I just,
I
you
mean,
might have
she does have a lot of rage in that tiny body.
Because they're closer to hell.
I'll drive
I
Oh
down there
cannot argue.
wow.
tomorrow. I'm off work.
The red hair does not help.
Oh my. Well, I want to thank everybody for participating in this dialogue. I am excited about the music series. It's very clear that everybody has a passionate opinion. Everybody has something to bring to the table and something that they whether it's a good concert experience or a bad concert experience or what got them into music, we all kind of come from a place of eclectic music taste. And that's what I love. It's basically music is a way to bring people together. And it resonates with our podcast because we are really trying to build this community of destigmatizing the word nerd. And what better way to do it than connect with people through music? And so if you are listening, please leave us a comment, leave us a rate, leave us a review. Tell us about your concert experiences. That's going to be the question if you're listening on Spotify to participate in the poll. You can tell us about your first concert experience, what was good, what was bad. We'd love to hear from you and we love the feedback. We not do this whole thing without Anchor, so we want to give a big shout out to them. They host us and they are phenomenal. If you are looking to do what we do and start a podcast, I highly recommend them. Their editing software is phenomenal. I am excited to see where this series goes. We will have guests, potentially some new faces, hopefully, we're fingers crossed, on the rest of the music series. And there'll be some other episodes in the mix, and we are going to be ending season 1 on New Year's Eve. So if you don't follow us on Instagram or you're not on Discord, I highly recommend you do that. But for those of you listening, we are doing a New Year's Eve live event. You're going to hear a little jingle after I'm done talking about it. But essentially what we're doing is Anchor is owned by Spotify, and Spotify has an app called Green Room. And what it does is it allows us to record our podcast live. We are hoping to have people that like the show come on and join the live recording and talk about, what they're a nerd about and bring in the new year together and safely and at home. And we really want everyone to be there. So follow us on Instagram, join the Discord server. We're going to be posting more information about what all goes into that. And it's going to be a fun time. So with that being said, we're going to wrap up today's show. We will be back on Friday with a new episode, and we'll see you there. Gordon, Lizette, are you guys as excited about the New Year's Eve special as I am?
You know it, Steve.
I mean, I know me and Drew are excited. We're both going to be there. And I think, Dylan, you're going to be there too, aren't you?
You bet your shiny gold buttons I'll be there.
Guys, do you know who else? Carmen, you are coming. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me and Bobby wouldn't miss it for the world.
So this is going to be our first time doing a live event, and people that are listening can actually come in, join the chat. They can join in on a microphone or through text chat, and they can actually be a part of it. This is like the best way to end season 1.
I lost my left shoe thinking about it.
Did it knock your socks off?
I didn't even have those on in the first place, so just a shoe.
Just a shoe.
What time is this going to start at?
So we're looking at, because obviously we have to celebrate midnight. So we're thinking around 10 or 10:30. We're going to have more details to follow. So this is really important. If you want to be a part of our New Year's Eve special, you have to get on Discord or Reddit. You have to be a part of the community to be on. I can't explain how excited I am for us to be live. We're going to take your chats. You can join in on the call. Tell us what you like about the show, what you don't like. This is going to be the most interactive we've ever been with anybody. It's so exciting. But, Gordon, do you know what the real thing is? Is they have to have Green Room. Can you tell them about Green Room?
To have Green Room. Green Room is a lovely addition to Spotify where we are able to go live and just be able to record with all of you guys listening in. You guys can ask to speak with us. You can join us. You can join in the live chat throughout the whole thing. We can bring you on so you can share your opinion on our podcast or just your opinion on some random BS like we love to do on our podcast and just chill with us all night.
And Lizette, do you know what the best part is?
What's
If
that?
are you a listener to Spotify?
Yes.
If you have a Spotify account, you can just download the Green Room app and immediately create an account. How easy is that?
Oh, okay. So it just ties into the account that you already have for Spotify.
Exactly. It's perfect. It's going to be like a 2-second download process and then a 2-second sign-in process.
Okay.
Carmen, I don't know about you, but I would really think that it'd be cool if some of our listeners would like either join in on the voice chat or through text and tell us New Year's resolutions. Are you big on New Year's resolutions?
Not so much on resolutions, but I just love being with friends and family, and I think it would be a great time to have more of our friends and family who are listening be a part of this, so that we get to hear from everybody. And what's a better way than celebrating the new year than to start off with a group of friends that are all on the same page?
Exactly. Dylan, I can't wait. Are you excited?
I am. Like I said, I lost my left shoe, and I think the cat took the right.
Oh my gosh.
I should hopefully find it in time. If not, like you said, I can join through Reddit or I can join through the Discord.
I can't wait. Well, I will see you guys all there, and everybody listening, we hope to have you be a part of our special night. It's the season 1 finale. If you're enjoying the Let's Be Nerds podcast, please come join us, and let's kick off the new year together and safely, in social distance, and just kind of be a part of a group where everybody's welcome and everybody's accepted. Hope to see you there. Let's Be Nerds is hosted and executive produced by Gordon Bryant and me, Stephen J. McLean. Let's Be Nerds is a production of Speak Easily Productions. Our social media manager is Kylie Gregg. Our managing producer and co-host is Lizette Ayala. Today's guest host was Robert Van Jacobs. You can follow him on all social media platforms at Bobby Dub Music. To keep up with the latest on Let's Be Nerds, join our Discord server linked in the description box below. Follow us on Instagram at Let's Be Nerds Pod, or find us on Twitter at Let's the letter B Nerds.